The crumpled coach lies on its side, its metal body mangled by the impact. It split open after falling 100 feet from a motorway flyover, spilling passengers and their belongings into the ravine. Beige seats streaked with blood, clothes and possessions strewn across the ground. The scene of devastation on a steep slope, a challenge for emergency services who toiled here through the night.
We were faced with a real tragedy tonight. It was an immense tragedy, where we first had to rescue the injured people who were trapped inside the coach and then had to work to pull out the bodies.
On Sunday evening, the bus carrying 50 passengers from a spa weekend was driving downhill on the motorway, 30 miles from Naples, when it lost control and started hitting vehicles which had slowed in heavy traffic. It then careered across the dual carriageway, smashing through the concrete barrier, toppling into the ravine below. The first responders arrived in the darkness. They had to use electric saws to reach the survivors, stopping occasionally to listen for voices. Although a few passengers survived, the job was mostly recovery, not rescue. Many of those on the coach came from Pozzuole, a suburb of Naples. They were family and friends. Throughout the day, relatives have been making the trip to this middle school near the crash site to identify the bodies. Clearly, for many, an overwhelming task. All day, the school car park has echoed to the sounds of grief.
The firefighters and the law enforcement forces worked very hard last night. I saw what was done by the doctors and firefighters who worked tirelessly to get the bodies out. I saw the doctors with their jackets covered in blood.
Several were injured when the bus struck their vehicles. This woman rushed to be at her sister's bedside at the San Giuseppe Mascati Hospital in nearby Avellino.
She's still in shock. She's got kids in the hospital and her husband. We don't know anything about them yet. I'm her sister and I haven't left her side since I was called here to the hospital.
The bus has now been taken away for inspection to see whether it was a mechanical fault. One witness says he heard the sound of what may have been a tyre bursting before it swerved. The body of the driver, who also died, will be tested for alcohol and drugs. It's the worst coach crash in Western Europe for over a decade. After last week's Spanish train disaster, it marks a bloody summer on the continent's transport network.